Hi, I'm Michael from Coastal Hippie Design, and I'm going to show you the assembly of the large bookcase. This one is a little bit more involved than the other one, so if you have somebody to help you, it will make it a little bit easier as far as the assembly goes. But not necessarily, but it will help. You'll have 3 packets of screws that come in for the assembly, and 4 of these 1/2-inch spacer blocks. And then as far as tools go, a Phillips hand drive screwdriver and a screw gun is all you would need. So what you want to do is you want to start off with the bottom shelf. Now you can tell the bottom, all the shelves are marked on the side right here, but you can tell the bottom shelf because it will have both the front skirt and the back skirt. So the back skirt will be flush and the front skirt sits in a little bit, so you give a shadow line up on the front. So anyway, you stand up, you put your bottom shelf on its back like this, and you start off with some of the divider shelves. You have 3 divider shelves, 2 on the bottom shelf and 1 on the mid shelf. So what you want to do is you want to find the ones that go to it, and everything's marked on the side. So as you're looking at the shelf, that would be called the right side, and this will be called the left side. So this is the right bottom divider. And what you do is you can take your hand screwdriver and start the 1 5/8 screws until the points stick out about maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe no more than 1/4 inch, but about 1/8 of an inch should be good. And once they stick out a little bit like that, the points, then what you can do is you can line up the shelf holes right into those points. And if you get them started about halfway up, and then you could come back and finish it with the screw gun. The screw gun snubs it up nicely, but if you start with the screw gun, you could tendency you maybe missed a hole. And I don't want you to split the wood or anything, so I want to make sure the screw goes into the center of the hole first. Then you take your second one, same way. Line it up to both of them. Okay. And I push down, like I start with the bottom one, and then I'll go to the top one, but I'm pushing with this hand in, so they don't move. And if you're not in the right hole, you would see that you're not in the hole because you'd be pushing the shelf away from you. But if you're in the hole in here, it will actually pull into you. And then you can finish out with this drill. Okay, now what you want to do next is you want to take the mid shelf, and that goes in next. And like I said, you make sure you look over here, the direction, the side. I even have letters marked in the corners on the shelves to the corners of your dado grooves on the side pieces, just so you know you're going in order. But anyway, so you got your mid shelf in. So take the 1 5/8 screws again, do the same way we did. We go ahead and start these 4 screws, the 1 5/8 screws. Okay, now that the points are sticking out, you can go ahead and line them up once again with those dividers. Do one side at a time, get it started. Okay, once you get started and they already threaded in, go ahead. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and put the sides in. Now before we put the sides in, we need to take these 4 1/2-inch blocks and put them on each corner to bring the whole shelf unit up by 1/2 inch, because that's because of the back piece that goes in to cover the back side, being it's not an open shelf. So now you can bring up your sides. Now these shelves will be sitting in these dado grooves. So you just got to line it up, finesse it in. Okay. You can tell when it sits and it's good. Now you want to use, for the sides, you want to use the 2-inch screws, the longer screws. So okay, now you want to put in the other side. By doing it in this order, it really does make it a lot easier. Okay, once you get them fitted into those dados, put in the 2-inch screws. Make sure they go in smoothly and easily, because that means you're lined up properly. Okay, now what you want to do is you want to put in your center divider. You look on your shelf, make sure you got the right shelf and where it goes. And that's the direction it goes. And make sure you don't mix these screws up. You only want the smaller ones, the 1 5/8, go into the shelves, and the 2-inch go into the sides. Okay, and don't forget, you need to take one of these 1/2-inch blocks, and if you slip it right underneath where you're going to be working, and you can take another one, you can even put it right there, so now you know that's at the right height. Just slide that right in So it lines up into these holes. There we go. Okay, now in order to put the top shelf in, we want to stand the whole unit up. Okay, now the top shelf has a groove in the back side here, so that you know that's, besides being it's set on the side here. But you want to slide this in towards the front. And you want to put that in that groove, put that in this groove over here. And just slide that up to where it's flush here and here is where